Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us. I want to introduce you to Laura Wallace, who is one of our recent grads, and have her talk to you a little bit about what she got from the program and her experience in it. And so, Laura, do you want to give us a quick overview of what you do in business and where you are in the world and all those things?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Laura Wallace, and I'm the creative director and owner at a company called Works Graphic Design. We're based in Hagerstown, Maryland, and we have the pleasure of working with growing small businesses on establishing really badass brands.
Awesome. And I would agree, you do that very well.
Thank you.
So can you really quickly just tell us about the results, maybe like the big chunks or the things that you got from being in the program?
Oh yeah, so many. To narrow it down is would be a challenge. But so I think one of the biggest things that I took away from the program is an awareness that I did not know existed within myself. And because of that awareness, I am so now tuned into myself, my actions and reactions, and how I say things or don't say things, or what maybe root emotion or thought caused me to feel like that. The awareness of myself is on such a high that I feel like I'm vibrating like off of the desk, and it's allowed me to change the trajectory of what once held me back to now actually literally break through that thing. So just being able to, I don't know, I just feel like I own myself differently too. I feel powerful. I feel able. I feel like I feel deserving. I don't know. I have absolutely taken my power back by going through this program for sure. A power that I thought was once lost in the universe. I was like, actually, no, just kidding. That's mine. I'll take that back. And then I'm going to top it 10 times.
That's great. And can you share with us how, now that you've actually reclaimed that and you have this new relationship with yourself, how have you seen that? What are the impacts of that in your life in terms of your relationships, the way you interact, maybe how you show up in all the different sort of versions of you?
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest places actually the largest places that it has shifted me is in my business. So I am a way stronger boss. I'm a much better leader. I'm a much better guide to my clients. So it's no longer like push over, Laura, right? Like be silent so that you don't upset people. Now I'm like, okay, look, we've got a project to do. We've got things to do. If a hard conversation has to happen, I'm no longer like putting it on the back burner and getting all like weird about it. Like, no, I love you enough and I love me enough and I love this company enough. Let's have this conversation. And then how can I help you? So I'm a stronger version of myself in my business, which allows me to have conversations faster, which helps us to move through obstacles faster. It allows me to say no to a potential client that's not a great fit instead of absorbing them and then going through the rigmarole and both of us being miserable and then being underpaid. The stronger version of myself in my business charges what we're worth instead of not, and then struggling and suffering through it all. So this has made a profound impact in me as a business owner and as a woman leader, because now I just stand up and we get through the things we need to get through, and I say yes to things that are yeses and no to things that are nos, and all of it's okay.
I love that. I love that. That's great. Can you tell us a little bit about where were you before doing the work together? When we first met, what did that look like?
Oh, when we first met, I was in a real shabby place. So the very first time I interacted with you, I was laying, I remember it, and I will tell this story for the rest of my life. I was laying on my couch, feeling real sorry for my ass. I was just sad, and I was like drinking wine, and I was eating food, and I had my laptop, and I was laying, and I was just like scrolling through Facebook, and you popped up. And I had never had any interaction with you before. And something was like, you should watch that. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it. So I watched the video and I was like, do the call. And I'm like, okay, I'll do the call. I was desperate for someone to see me and hear me and help me, because I felt so wrapped up in myself and in my emotions and my confusion and my lack of being able to do what I knew what was in me, but I couldn't get it out. Felt like a firework in a box, right? Like I was exploding, but nobody could see or hear me.
Mm.
So I was in a really low, desperate is probably the biggest one, because I was tired. I was tired of operating on that level. I was tired of being stuck. I was tired of feeling like I was a prisoner to the very thing that I had created.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. So tell me, share with us, why was it so important for you to fix all of that stuff?
Because I knew and know that I have a whole lot more to give than what I have been allowing myself to. I felt contained. I'm a magical unicorn with a whole lot of energy. And when you contain that, it's, to me, that's deadening. If I can't be bold and colorful and triumphant and magnificent and do the thing that just comes so naturally to me, I feel stuck and depressed and contained. And that's where a lot of things die for me. It was important for me to allow that version of me to come out, because you know what? That's where all my magic is. That's where I impact myself the most. That's where I impact my team, my family, my husband, my son, my family, my friends. Like when I'm in my zone, I can do some really amazing stuff. It was important to me to not live a life of containment.
I love that. And how did you know now was the time? How did you, because, I think as women, we take on so much and we figure out how to get through everything that often we don't even realize the level of stress and that kind of low level of anxiety that's sort of running in the background. And we're holding it all. We're holding a lot. And often we don't realize how intense it really is. So
Yeah.
what was it for you that you thought, okay, today, this is a thing. Let's now.
I'm a huge believer in the universe, and I think that the universe just put it in front of me. I don't think that I knew in that moment that I needed this.
Mm-hmm.
But the universe put it in front of me, and there was something in my gut that said, you know what, click on that. Okay, watch that whole thing. Okay, now schedule the call. Okay, yes, do the program. And the whole time I was like, I don't know I've done 100 of these things before, and I've read all these books, and I've done all this stuff, and here I am still fucking stuck.
Awesome. I was just going to ask you that. So what have you tried before this? So you've read books, you've done programs, what other?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with coaches, I have mentors, I've gone through programs, I've gone on retreats, I've read books, and all of them I take something very special with me, of course. I value every step of every scenario that comes in my life. But this was different. This actually shifted me. This actually gave me what I needed to be able to turn that leaf over that I've been so desperately trying to turn.
And do you know how that happened for you? What was it? What was different about this program than others that you've done?
You?
Well,
Honestly, I mean, honestly, you approached things differently. You approached me differently. You said, call me when you're breaking down, when you're angry, when you're sad, when you don't know what's going on, it's all again in the awareness. Call me. Like you had me pull off the side of the road when I was driving home one night because I'm just like literally losing my shit. Like that personal. It wasn't just here's a workbook, go through these things. Let me know if you have any questions. Just having you literally lock arms with me. Like I wasn't alone. That was the biggest difference for me. I was not alone.
Awesome. Okay. And when you went through the program, because I think a lot of people think, oh, it's a program, it's a group, I don't get enough individualized attention, or, I don't know if it's personalized enough for me. Can you speak a little bit to that? How'd you get all of the things that you needed?
Yeah. So I liked that it was multifaceted, right? It was a lot of different touch points for me. So yes, we have the actual curriculum to go through, and that was really powerful for me because I was able to just listen to things and read through things and feel through and kind of work through. But it wasn't this big, lengthy, I don't know, I just don't want to get into all that. I'm personally, I'm much better with like human interaction. And then the weekly group call was cool because while you were talking to some of the other women, even though it wasn't my conversation, I was picking up on things and going, oh yeah, I see that. Oh yeah, I do that too. Oh, okay. So it was interesting to share that, and then also just have that safe space for, a handful of women that I never met before in my entire life. Now all of a sudden, I feel like I have a bond with them. Like I could call any of them tomorrow, and we'd pick right up where we needed to. And then the interaction with you again, just being able. There was one week I think I called you like 4, 5, 6 times, and you made me feel like that was okay. Like I wasn't bothering you. I wasn't being a nuisance. I wasn't crying for help. I wasn't looking for a handout. Like no, let's literally stop this in the moment. Let's reroute it. Let's find a new truth, and let's change the path. So just being able, it was nice because there was a lot of different levels to it, but for me, being able to access to you was huge for me.
Yeah, great. And thank you. I will accept that. Yes, that is true.
There you go. Atta
And
girl.
I think the importance of it is the in the moment coaching, to be able to reset in the moment when something is happening, I think is super important.
Yeah.
But also I think that your reassessment of your request for attention, your request for interaction and for partnership, that you didn't no longer label that as something as lesser than or a burden or something that's wrong or that you shouldn't do. And I think that most of us as self-starters, we tend to figure it all out on our own. We
Right.
tend to like, oh, I should, or I can, or whatever, I'll make it. And I think one of the big things I love about this work is the ability to say, I guess I could do it that way. Do I want to anymore?
Right.
And that in partnership is really where we are our strength in numbers. And that as much as we are giving, we can also receive. And I think that's been such a great dynamic shift that I've seen in you, where you've been able to actually stand in that way, where you're able to create more partnerships and up level your impact and your capacity for impact, because it isn't just you.
Yes. Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Tell me or share with us, what was either one of the first things or a thing that stands out for you that I asked you to do that you thought was a little crazy, or you thought, oh my God, what is this?
Wow. So there's an exercise about getting in tune with your little girl, someone inside of you, and actually like physically talking to another version of myself and physically holding a version of myself. I was like, okay, I'm like, this is odd to me. People are going to think that I'm losing my mind. So there was definitely a handful of things where I'm like, okay, this is a little off the beaten path. But man, I value those so much now. I mean, now it's just like part of my normal life. It gives me a method, or it gives me something to be able to work through something. So I'm not just sitting there in my head all day long, thinking and overthinking and what this and that. No, I can actually like physically stop and do something, right? So there's lots of things that we've done together, but that gives me something I can literally just like, okay, what do I need right now? And if I literally just stop for 5 minutes, I've changed my mindset from this scattered tornado that sends me into this downward like, ah. And now it's a reset for me. And it allows me to, okay, now I can breathe. Now I've done what I need to do. And now I can go back to my day. Now I can do this. I know how to care for myself differently.
I love it. I love that. I love that. I know you're also doing an exercise with your team.
Yeah.
You have that. I had requested that you do it on your own and share with us what happened because your team wanted in on it.
Yeah. So I'm going to show you real quick because today I am too much. So you gave me an exercise out of the blue one day on our group call, and you were like, there's a part of this is finding your original illusion. These are lies that you have told yourself or have been instilled on you from other people. And you were like, you know what? I want you to wear your original illusion on a t-shirt and wear it around for a day. And I was like, what?
And
What?
your original illusion, just to clarify, is really about our negative self-beliefs.
Yes, yes. This is a negative self-belief that I have um, lived with, how I make decisions, and it's impactful. And then you're like, actually, you know what? I want you to identify 5 of your negative self beliefs and wear them on a t-shirt, one every day. And I was like, okay. But then I was like, you know what? I like this challenge. I feel like I could really wrap my head around this. And being in branding, I'm like, okay, there's a bigger version of this that I feel called to. And then I told my team about it, what I was doing and my work with you. And they were like, we want to support you. We're going to do this with you. So all week this week, everyone has been wearing a t-shirt with a negative self-belief on it and wearing it all day and all night and interacting with people. And it's been freaking phenomenal. Like literally shifting. Like I told one of the girls today, I'm like, I feel like there are actually platelets in the earth literally shifting this week. It's been profound.
That's amazing. So I'm actually going to share my screen and show you some of the images that you and your team. Can you see that?
Yes.
There's the team and all of your t-shirts, which are just, yeah, the ownership of it. Because
Yeah.
this exercise is really about how do we own the deepest parts of ourselves where we might hold shame, where we might, these beliefs that we have of self, where we're not enough or not worthy, it's my fault, I'm expendable. That's actually how we let go of the hold that it has on us. So I think it's, yeah, it's been really amazing. It's been so fun watching you all go through that process.
Yeah. And this exercise has created a bond between the 4 of us that is insane. I mean, we were a close team to begin with, but this has just like literally turned everything around. And one of the most beautiful things about it, it's all about paying it forward. Now we have people coming to us and talking to us about it. We had someone stop in today and tell us one of their negative self-beliefs. We had a lady in the hallway open up the other day, and like all of a sudden now it's this conversation that once felt scary and vulnerable and wrong, now is celebrated. And I'm like, it's
Yeah.
it's incredible.
I think I love this exercise so much because it is, it's something that where exactly what you're saying, we actually shift out of holding something in shame and that we want to keep hidden and that we can't, don't see it, to actually get to own it. And it actually becomes the way that we have empathy and how we create connection with each other.
Yeah,
Because we
absolutely.
all hold our own version of it.
Yeah.
And so to be able to be bold and to be brave enough in order to do that, I applaud you greatly. And by the way, not everybody has to do that. Not everybody chooses to do that. So it's not a prerequisite or a requirement of the program, but I'm
Yeah,
really,
I don't even think it was part of the program. It felt, I don't know if you just felt compelled to have me do it or just the space that I was in that moment. It wasn't a requirement. It wasn't part of the program, but it
yeah.
presented itself in the most beautiful ways.
Yeah, it's not part of the curriculum, so to speak, but I think it speaks to, a lot of the ways that the work gets individualized because there is so much, especially on those Fridays calls that come up that we can
Yeah.
address and we can find ways to personalize it and make sure that everybody gets what they need. So,
Right.
yeah, so great. Let's see, what else? What else can we talk about? What were some of the immediate results that you got from the program? What were the things that you saw or that you noticed or that you got feedback on?
Um, I noticed that I did not spiral as quickly as I once did. And when I say that, like negative thoughts and then this and then that, and then before I know it, I'm depressed and hiding in my bed and all these, like all those things. That was a pretty immediate because I had someone call. I have really wonderful people in my life that serve really wonderful roles, but there's something about this role in a relationship. To have someone see and hear me in that moment was like, okay, even if I feel like I want to do that, I have someone to lean on. And then one of my biggest things is my relationship with money, and a lot of the things that we've worked on with that. Um, some people might call it whatever, but I believe in the truth of vibration and the universe. Money is presenting itself now. Financially, things are showing up, and I know for a fact that that's not. It's not by mistake. It's not a coincidence. It's because I did the work that I needed to resonate with it and accept it in my life. So that's one of my biggest ones, and I'm excited too. There's some really very very tangible goals in the next 90 days. That's going to be proof of something that we worked on together. That's going to literally shift everything. So
I love that. I love everything you said. And I just want to also commend you and applaud you because you do the work every day. This isn't like a one and done thing.
right.
So can you share with us, what are the things that you do on a daily basis? What are ways that you maintain this new mindset and a new approach?
Yeah, I mean, I think that one of the most important things about this is knowing that you're only going to get out of it what you're willing to put into it. And, it's not a magic pill that we take and everything's better, or, we have one cry call and everything's all of a sudden changed. It was work on my behalf, but I was ready to do that work. So you have to be ready to do the work. You have to be ready to want the change. So, things were like watching videos or journaling or having reflective times or meditation and just having conversations with myself and stopping instead of always running through every scenario. Like literally one day I left my office and I went out and sat outside for 45 minutes just because I had to, just taking the time to like, it's work, but in the most beautiful of ways because it was work for me, not for everyone else. So it's really amazing women. It's easy to take care of other people, but it's hard as hell to take care of ourselves sometimes. So it was daily self-care, and that came in a lot of different shapes and forms.
I love that. I love that. And the shift in not only adding yourself to your priority list, but making you the first one.
Yeah.
Right. That the process of reconfiguring your life with you at the center.
Yes.
To be of service to everyone else.
Yes.
That it is not a selfish thing. It is not a self-centered narcissist, blah, 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 the whole bit, right? It's about how do we reconfigure the whole thing so that you can actually stand in the power of who you are,
yes.
in your own genius. And from there, we make decisions and choices. So it's been such a beautiful thing to watch. And yeah, it's been such an honor. I guess let's just end with what are the big takeaways or anything that you'd like the audience to understand or anything else you'd like to share that about this process and about the work and where you're at now?
I think one of my hesitations going into it was I'm going to invest a bunch of my time and do this thing. And at the end of it, I'm going to be exactly where I began, or I'm going to slip back into that. And I mean, I can just honestly say that this is literally the most unique thing that I've ever done. And it spoke to me in a way that, again, you have to be ready to receive. And maybe you don't know if you're ready to receive or not. But if you're tired of being stuck and you have more to give, but you don't know how to, this is profound. So it's an 8-week program. And I remember one of our first like intro call, you're like, you'll be a different person at the end of the 8 weeks. And that was the first ounce of hope that I had had in a really long time. And I believed you. Something about our connection, and I believed you. And you were true. You were accurate. I am a different person, but the most beautiful and strong way. I'm the same me, but better. I'm the me that was in the box that now can just do what I do and make an amazing impact on the world. Um, it's just teeter tottering. You're not sure if you're like, oh, I don't. But girl, if you are ready to make some serious changes, this is the place to be. And Kate is the person to be with. Kate, you have been one of the most one of the most incredible human beings in my life, and I thank the universe for putting you in my Facebook feed that day because you were what I needed to be the version of myself that I knew that I could be, but didn't know how to be.
Wow. Well, thank you.
I'm all like welled up now.
Yeah, it's been such a delight. It has really been, I say this often that I feel lucky to get to do the work that I do. And I just genuinely every day feel that way, that to see you actually look truly, genuinely at yourself and what you want and what you're creating, and create more choice for yourself and ownership in your life and who you are and who you want to be and who you're willing to take a stand for. And it's inspiring, Laura. And I'm so proud of you and honored to have been able to do this work together. And yeah, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Much love.
Yeah, you on your end as well. And I guess that's it. So thank you for taking the time to share with us, and we will talk soon.
Sounds wonderful.
Okay. Bye bye.